Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today my name is Osereme, and if you're here for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I made this really cute black top, off shoulder top with puff sleeve. It's very easy and it's actually something you can wear off the shoulder or on your shoulder, whichever way you decide to style it. So if you're interested in seeing how I made this, definitely keep on watching and let's get started. So guys, to create this top, I got this piece of fabric that I also shared with you in my vlog. If you watch my vlog, I shared this fabric with you that I got. I told you guys I was going to be making a top with this. So this is the fabric that we're going to be using now to make this top. So it's actually a crepe fabric. For those of you that might want to know what kind of fabric this is, it's called crepe. The first thing we're going to do is to cut out the front piece, and for this I folded my fabric into two, and what I'm doing now is just using my bust measurement divided by 4 as a template. So when I've gotten that, I ensure that there's enough allowance as well for me to stitch it down, and after that I'm taking the length I want this top to be. So I actually want this top to be 17 inches long, and as you can see, I'm marking it out with 18 inches so that the extra 1 inch will be used as sewing allowance. So guys, after marking this line across, I'm just going to cut out this piece so that we'll start taking all our front measurements from here. I'm also going to cut off this end here that I do not need. Now we're going to start marking out all our measurements. So this top is going to be an off shoulder top. So because of that, I'm marking 6 inches away from the top, which would have been our shoulder, and I'm taking my measurement from the 6-inch point at where my fabric started. So from that point I went down to 8 inches, which is my chest line. I marked it. I marked 10 inches, which is my bust line, as you can see, and then I am marking 13 inches, which is my under bust point, and then lastly 16 inches, which is my waist point. Then I'll just take the end of the fabric as the hip line. Now I'm just going to mark lines across. As you must have noticed, I didn't mark a line across on the under bust line because I figured that was not necessary. So I just did it on the chest line, bust line, and then on the waistline. Now back to the top, what I'm going to do is to divide my shoulder measurement by 2 and marked it. So I marked it here. After marking that, I went in from that point by going by about 1.5 inch or 2 inches. But for this, I went in by 1.5 inch so that the neckline is not too wide. But actually figured that after I was done with everything, it was still a little bit bigger than I wanted it to be. So I will advise that you go as deep as 2 inches in from that point there. Now on the first line, what you're going to do is to divide your bust measurement by 4 and mark it. And then now you're going to connect this new point at the top and this point on the first line, which is the chest line. So this has given us our armhole. Now I'm going to come down to the waistline, and on the waistline again we're going to divide my waist measurement by 4. So whatever your waist measurement is, divide it by 4 here on this waistline, and then on the hip line divide whatever your hip measurement is by 4 and mark it as well. After that, I just went ahead to add 1.5 inch stitching allowance all the way around all the 3 points. So guys, after getting all my points, as you see me doing like this, I'm just going to connect all my 3 points like this with a curve. And for this, it's totally okay if yours doesn't come out as curvy as mine is. It all depends on the difference between the waist and the hip measurement. So that's why mine is this curvy. So if yours is not this curvy and you know that you've used your bust measurement, then it's totally fine. Then the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is to make a curve from the chest line to just get like a sweetheart neckline, as you see me doing like this. So now that we've gotten all our measurements ready, we're just going to now cut along all the white lines, as you see me doing like this. So if you open it up, this is what you have. So I have my neckline up there. So now I'm just going to place this front pattern on another piece. So I cut out another piece of fabric, folded into two as well, and I'm just going to use this to cut out the back. So for this, I'm just going to place my front pieces as you see me doing like this. I'm just pinning it in place so that it doesn't move away from where I want it to be. Now that it's secured, I'm just going to cut along the side, under here on the side, but I'm going to leave the neck area and then the zipper allowance I left on the side. So just watch what I'm cutting out right now. So like I said, I left the zipper area. So from the actual front piece, I'm marking 1.5 inch away from the front piece that I placed on it to give me my zipper allowance for the back. And then I just extended the chest line measurements to just the back, and then I'm just making a round neck at the back to meet the shoulder. So for my back, it's not going to be sweetheart, it's going to be round neck. So that's what I just simply did here. And this is basically all for cutting out the front and the back pieces. So now we're going to cut out the pieces for the sleeve. So I cut out this rectangular piece. As you can see, I folded it into two. So the longer part of my rectangle is 40 inches, and then this other part is 10 inches. So you can totally make yours longer than mine if you want to. It depends on how long and full you want your own sleeve to come out. So now what I'm going to do now is to go over to the sewing machine and stitch down my sleeve like you see me doing like this. Fold it in a little bit and then fold it again up like this so that I have enough room for my elastic casing. So as you can see, I stitched it up here, up and down, and I did it for the both pieces. Now we're going to work on the actual dress itself, and for this I'm going to cut out facing for the front and the back. So I'm just placing the front piece on another piece folded just like the front, and I'm just cutting out a piece as you see me like this, just cutting out the facing. So this right here is the facing from the front piece, and I'm just going to do the same thing for the back. Now I'm going to head over to the sewing machine, and what I'm going to do is to stitch the ends of my facing this side like this, just one stitch around. I'll do it for both the front and the back, and after that I'm going to stitch it to the actual fabric like you see me doing like this, and then we'll flip it over and iron it out just the same way you fix your facing. And for the front as well, I'll place the front facing and stitch it down and flip it over. So guys, after I was done with all of that, this is what I had, and you can see how neat the neckline is now for the back pieces and for the front piece as well. So this is the back, this is what it's looking like, and then when you flip it over, you see how neat the front area is looking. So this is how you do your simple facing. I'm going to actually have to hem this in later. So now as you can see, I'm just joining the armhole area of my front pieces just so it doesn't move from where I want it to be. And now I'm going to arrange my sleeves again, just folding them like you see me doing like this into two. So I'm putting the two pieces right on top of each other like this, and I'm going to arrange the armhole area of my top as you see me doing like this, just exactly the way you see me doing it like this. This is a very simple way I cut out the armhole for my off-shoulder tops. So I just replicate what I have on the top itself on the sleeve, and this is what we have. So for my elastic, I'm going to pass through the top of this sleeve. I'm cutting it out with 8 inches, and for the one that's going towards the down, it's going to be 10 inches. So this is where it will be 8 inches at the top and then 10 inches under. So for you, it could be longer. It depends on how big you are. For me, I'm just a size 6, and this is just perfect for my size. So if you're bigger than me, you can make yours as high as maybe 10 inches and 12 inches. Or better still, you can just take measurements of yourself to know exactly how long the elastic you should use should be. So as you can see, I'm just placing my elastic through the casing I made, and I'm just securing them with my pins. After passing the elastic through the casing, this is what I have. So I'm just going to do the same thing for the other sleeve as well, and then I will secure my elastic with the sewing machine. So after I was done with all of that, this is what I had. Now I'm just going to join it to the actual dress itself. So I'm just pinning the armhole area of the sleeve and the top together, as you see me doing like this. So I will do it for both the front and the back. I'll just pin the sleeve to the armhole for the front and the back pieces, and after that I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and secure everywhere that I've held with my pins with the sewing machine. So now let's go over to the sewing machine and stitch down all the sleeves. So guys, as you can see, I've stitched the sleeves together, and while at it I also stitched down the side with the 1.5 inch I left earlier. So what is left now is just for me to attach my zipper and then finish up the end. So after I was done with that, this is what I had. It's a very simple dress. Like I told you guys, I had to work on this neck area again because I had to take it in a little bit because it was a little bit wide for my neck. But after I was done with that, this is how cute it came out. It's so beautiful, very neat. I love how it came out. And this is the back. Thank you so much guys for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.